Alright guys, this is Firestarter 15. I guess keyword is yelling babies. Keyword is yelling babies. Um, write a polynomial function that has zeros 3, -2, -1, and a leading coefficient of 1. It's actually pretty easy. It's very similar to what we did before, where we were doing our creating equations activity. So those are our zeros: x equals 3, x equals -2, x equals -1. Remember, what we did before is to work backwards. I'm going to say x equals 3, x equals -2, x equals -1. Now I'm going to make all three of these equal 0. So I'm going to add -3 from both sides, add 2 to both sides, add 1 to both sides. Now remember, what we get to say next is that those are in parentheses. So I get to put those all as 3 sets of parentheses: x minus 3, x plus 2, x plus 1 equals 0. I'm going to FOIL the first two. So x goes to x gives me x squared. X goes to 2 gives me 2x. -3 goes to x gives me minus 3x. Then I'm going to have -3 go to 2, give me minus 6. Combine my like terms. So this turns into x squared minus x minus 6. And the x plus 1 is going to drop back down. Now, I'm going to do distributive property. Now, personally, I like to have my x plus 1 in front. So I'm going to put x plus 1 here. So this is x plus 1. And I put it right there. Now, x is going to go to everything. So in blue, I'm going to take x is going to go to all three things. So x goes to x squared, it gives me x cubed. X goes to negative x, gives me minus x squared. X goes to minus 6, gives me minus 6x. Now 1 is going to go to every single thing. So 1 is going to go to x squared. It's going to give me x squared. I like to line it up with the x squared term. 1 goes to negative x, so I have minus x. Then 1 goes to negative 6, I have minus 6. Now I'm going to just put, you can either put equal to 0, or I'm going to put f of x equals x cubed. These cancel. Minus 7x minus 6. That's it. Now, we're not done yet because I did tell you to graph it. Oh, and even if I did not say to graph it, I meant to say graph it. That's why the graph's here. So I might have forgot to write it. So write and graph. Sorry if I forgot to write that, and if you forgot to do that, it's no big deal. Just go ahead and fix that for me. Now, all I'm going to do for this is, remember, we talked about, when we graph, we talked about degree and leading coefficient, which gave me my end behavior. So my degree is 3, which is odd. My leading coefficient is 1, which is positive. And that tells me that my graph should go up, down to the left, and up and to the right. Right? Now, worst case scenario, if you don't remember end behavior and stuff like that, it's not actually that big of a deal, because you can just make an XY chart. And that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to make my XY chart. So when I graph, I always just make an XY chart. I'm just going to start with -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to pick something else. Now, I already know that 3, I'm going to make sure that's on my chart. I already know that 3 is going to be 0. I already know -2 is going to be 0. I already know -1 is going to be 0. So more than likely, I'm probably going to want -3 and I'm probably going to want 4 on my graph. It's not the end of the world if you don't put those on there, but I already know that's going to happen. So -2, 0, I'm going to put on my graph right here. -1, 0, put on my graph. 3, 0. on my graph. Now I'm gonna pick some of these points. You don't have to pick all of them. Like I would definitely pick 0. 0 is gonna be very easy. I plug it in to my equation. 0 is gonna give me -6. All right, so I already know 0, -6 is a point. Let's say you want to pick 1, right? I'm gonna plug 1 in for x. So I'm gonna have 1 cubed minus. So if I pick 1. So 1's going to be 1 minus 7 minus 6. It's going to be -12. So probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this graph to go by 2's. So this is going to become y's by 2. So that's why I do the zeros first, because now I don't have to worry about erasing all the other ones. I just have to make this 0, -6 is right there. And then there is 1, -12. So I got 1, -12. Now I'm going to plug in 2. So I'm going to do f of 2. So I'm going to plug 2 in. So I get 2 cubed, which is 8, minus 14, minus 6. So I get 8 minus 14, minus 6. So I get 8 minus 20. It's going to be -12 again. So I plug 4 in my calculator. I get 30. And the last thing I want to do is plug in -3. If you're being really picky, you might want to plug in -1.5 because just so you know where that graph is. So if you really want to put -1.5 in for x, it will kind of give you in between the two zeros. So you could plug that number in if you really want to. So I'm going to do that just to be kind of more correct. But it's 1.125. So just so I know where it's at. And so I had -312 again. So -312. A lot of 12s here. -12s. So now when I make my graph, right, I know that it's going to end. I know it's going to end down to the left. So look, my graph looks like it's doing that. Now, remember with graphs, we want smooth and gentle curves. Now, that's probably my hardest thing right now is graphing on this. So we'll see how it works. And so it does look like our graph wants to go down to the left and up and to the right. That's it. Remember, keyword was yelling babies.